I'm Mich Atagana and welcome to Memeburn on the Road. Today we are DQ&A Media Group and we're going to talk to one of the founders about the future of media buying. Cool. Mike, welcome. Can I call you Mike or Michael?
Sure.
welcome to our show. So now you are one of the owners of DQ&A
Yes.
Media Group and you guys specialize in media buying.
We do.
And now you are one of the foremost people, if I can say, in programmatic media buying, which is quite interesting for me because I don't really understand how all that works. And I'm interested to kind of learn a little bit more about that and a bit more also on the future of media buying. So can you just start by giving us a little bit of a one-on-one definition of what programmatic?
Sure. If you look at media currently is being bought and sold, at least in a traditional way, it's you have an advertiser and that advertiser has a media plan combined with an agency. The agency has a planner and the planner basically makes an educated guess of what media works and what doesn't work. That media is then bought at a sales house or a network at a publisher in bulk. So essentially, the media planner says, I need 5 million unique viewers of this ad, get me 5 million unique viewers. And that's being provided in bulk. So these 5 million users are, we don't know who they are, but they're 5 million users. Programmatic, the machines take over. So essentially what you get is you don't get a media planner talking to a planner at a network site, you get a computer talking to a computer. And these computers make spot decisions on who to buy and how that is valuated. So out of all these 5 million users, 1 million might be super valuable because they are much more likely to respond to a certain ad. So these users go for a high price. Then you have maybe 500,000 users that are not interesting at all. So the buying platform, so the agency will not buy those users, or they will buy them at a vastly reduced price. So essentially you go from judging media plans or media buying in bulk to really singular spot judgments, which would be impossible with people, but with computers that's an easy thing to do.
So technology is kind of taken over where people would have to do a lot of guesswork and a lot of hard work actually.
Well, technology takes a lot of the guesswork out, so to say. So going from judgments, you go to actual decisioning based on historical learning or algorithms or market conditions instead of whichever a planner thinks is right.
Okay.
So the whole dynamic changes.
There's a lot of disruption then happening in the space of media buying. How does that change the industry for the future? What does that mean for the industry in the future?
Well, nerds are taking control for a large part. I mean, nobody in this industry has the idea that people will be replaced by computers. Computers will start assisting planners or agency people to do their job in a more advanced way. But also it also means that teams will have to start working way closer together because right now you have an advertiser, you will have a media agency, and you will have a creative agency. Essentially, once a campaign is booked, the campaign is being run, and then after the campaign is completed, people evaluate and decide what to do next. When you do it in a programmatic way, you actually essentially should evaluate after day one. So all these teams have to come way closer together and become way more agile in the way they do things. So that means that campaign creative that doesn't work on day one will not run the entire month. It will be switched on day two. It will be paused. So, and to do that, you need to embrace data. You need to embrace data as your religion, so to say. So instead of saying we run a campaign and we see what happens, you embrace data as your religion. You say, this is what it's all about. This is central. And this is how we're going to judge what we're doing. And that's a fundamental mind shift with agencies.
You cannot step out of your house and go into a technology-infused space and not hear data, big data, what's happening with data, structured data, unstructured data. I mean, there's a lot of chaos with data, but how can advertisers really harness the power of that much data?
It's a good question. I mean, when we look at big data and all our marketing, we think it's big data. It's actually not that big. Big data is Google, that's big data.
Yeah.
Like the whole company of Google, that's big data. So in that sense, I always call it medium data to really play it down a little. But still, it's a lot of decisioning that has to be done. Of course, companies like Google, for instance, at Nexus, are investing heavily in making platforms that do the dirty work, so to say.
Okay.
So they aggregate, they crunch, and they produce somewhat of an analysis.
Yeah.
And what we as DQ&A do is we say to our clients, what is data to you? What do you want to learn from it? Because it's very easy for us and for any company in that matter to deliver a big pile of data to a client or to whomever wants it and say, well, good luck, here's your data. It's about making it actionable. So really analyzing it in such a way that it fits in client profiles or it fits in advertising campaigns. And only then data becomes valuable. So it's more about extracting the essence out of all that data that you have and really making that happen compared to saying, well, we have all this. It's more, for us, it's more about simplifying it and only looking at what makes sense and discarding maybe even 90% of it.
Okay.
And that's quite a different play because many companies have business models built around big data. So they want the data to be as big as possible, which is nice, but I don't believe that's the future.
Now, you work with a lot of startups, and you started a company that then became part of what is now DQ&A. How do you think startups are disrupting, the media and advertising world, and how important is that kind of disruption to future trends?
I think it's a nice space to disrupt, but I do think it takes a lot of power, so to say. I mean, big data generally means you need very big infrastructures to make things happen. Of course, with cloud computing, that becomes an easy thing to attain. I mean, Amazon has done a lot of dirty work for all these entrepreneurs out there. But still, it takes a big thought, so to say. I mean, it's very difficult if you want to break in the media advertising space efficiently to do that small scale. So it's really, and that's what I see with many of the startups in the space, it's really go big or go home. And that is really what you see happening because you're up against very well-funded companies that have very deep pockets and that might not have a vested interest in the space being disrupted. That's actually something we still see. Okay. So there's a lot of space for entrepreneurs, but the ideas have to be very good and very well executed. There's not a lot of space for freewheeling, so to say, or gold diggers. It's really different in that sense.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and it's been a great conversation. And now I know what programmatic, media buying is. It just blew my mind. That was Memeburn on the road, and we've gained a lot of insight into the future of media buying. Thank you so much for watching, and join us next time.